Hello, Taurus. Sorry this has taken so long. This is going to be your bonus reading for August 2018. So I'll get started shuffling. My daughter actually went to her dad's yesterday for the next 7 days, and the reason why I'm in the kitchen right now is because our poor puppy is having major separation anxiety and was out on the porch waiting for her to come back for like a half an hour, and now I'm hanging out with him in the kitchen so he doesn't get lonely. So I don't know, this is the best setup I could come up with in the kitchen. We're just gonna be totally informal today. There he is right there. I don't know if you can probably see him. Yep. At least looks like he's enjoying himself for now. He was really upset earlier and last night too. So I'm just in here to make sure that I can take care of him if he needs me. Let's see if I can adjust that. All right. I apologize. You can't really see my hands or what I'm doing, but this is the best thing I can do in the kitchen for now. So this is going to be in Taurus rising, sun and moon signs, best, highest, good, and also whatever they need to hear the most to do with love and relationships. Love and relationships for Taurus rising, sun, moon sign, and your best, highest, good, or whatever they most need to hear. Yeah, I wish there was some way I could tell a little 4-month-old puppy that she's coming back. He knows that she's coming back. He just doesn't know when she's coming back. He had a hard time last night. She left yesterday afternoon, but he was crying for half the night last night for her. And then he had gotten kind of used to being back with just me, but then she stopped by for a little bit to give him a biscuit, and that set it off all over again. So, but he seems to be doing better now. I think he's going to take a nap. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, back to you. Love and relationships. Okay, ready? Okay. We have a fence up in the kitchen because he's still being potty trained and he's not allowed on the carpet. Ooh, you guys. Okay. I'm going to pick one clarifier and then I'll show you the cards. Actually, I might pick 2 clarifiers. Do I really want to put that in there? Okay. I'll try to explain that. I may even have to pick more cards on that one to try to figure it out. It looks slightly complicated, not to figure out or anything. It's just something you're going through presently. Okay. Your 6 cards for love and relationships. Let's see if I can move this where you can see it better. Is the 3 of Wands. The middle one on the top is the 10 of Cups. I'm going to try to speak louder for you guys. I realize sometimes I don't speak loud enough. Your third one is the Star, very nice. Your bottom middle is the Two of Swords, or I'm sorry, bottom first. Middle bottom is the Moon. That's what I was trying to pick all the extra cards about, to try to figure that out for you. And your last one on the bottom is the Six of Wands. Excellent. This is very good. Your future ones for relationships are very nice. So, okay. Yeah, this is probably the most unprofessional and informal reading I've done on here yet. Pardon me. Okay. In the past with relationships or love, and keep in mind this is for the month of August. Recent past. It seems like perhaps you had met someone, and this is if you're single. I'll get into the version of this if you're already in a relationship, but it can definitely apply to both. You met someone that possibly lives someplace else or lives slightly far away from you, or you met someone and you've been waiting to hear from them again. Or perhaps you've been thinking about going to where they are to go and visit them, or they're considering to come back and visit you again. It feels like whatever this connection is runs pretty deep for you. Kind of reminds me of my daughter's puppy waiting for her to come back on the front porch, honestly. Perhaps the reason why the Two of Swords is in here is because perhaps you were waiting to hear back from them, but you didn't hear anything. I'm getting there may have even been a possible miscommunication where they sent something to you, but you didn't receive it, or it got lost. Or perhaps you tried to reach out to them and they didn't receive the message. That's one possibility. So if that may be true, you may want to send another message and see if they get it the second time. Or perhaps you've been waiting for love to arrive to you. Perhaps you've been sending out the call to the universe that you're ready for love, and you feel like perhaps you've been waiting too long for this thing to arrive, or this person rather. And perhaps you have not completely gotten totally clear on what you're really looking for, or what you truly want for a relationship. If you're in a relationship in the recent past, perhaps your partner went away for a little bit on a vacation or a trip, or perhaps you did and you were missing them, or they were missing you, and you've been waiting for some kind of a communication from them. Or perhaps you needed to get away temporarily in order to figure out how you really feel about this relationship. Perhaps you've been thinking about if this is really what you want or not, possibly. Or perhaps they needed to go away for a little bit to do some inner searching just in general. So obviously this isn't going to apply for everyone, but this is what came out. So in the present, you have the Ten of Cups and the Moon, and this is kind of reminding me of the first scenario of perhaps you're far away from each other at this time, or something's going on. Perhaps they needed to go away in order to take care of someone that they love that's going through a rough time, or you needed to do that possibly. But I am getting that this relationship, or this person that you've met, or the relationship that you are in, really does seem to fulfill all of your emotional needs and make you extremely joyful and happy and blessed. You feel blessed by this person or this relationship. But there may be some undercurrents either going on with you or with them that perhaps not everything has come to light yet. I feel like this person may come from a very emotional, complicated background. or there are some hidden things in the matter, not as in hidden things as in they're involved with someone else or anything like that. I'm picking up family stuff, things with family or things with the past or things that they don't open up about very easily at all. And it's going to take a little while to be able to feel safe with them, or for them to feel safe with you, or to get to know them and have them trust you enough to be able to really open up about everything that's going on for them. There could be something going on with their children or their mother or their family, or just some old secrets or hidden things from the past that they're extremely vulnerable about and generally probably don't talk about that much. So that's just one way of looking at this that is definitely coming out loud and clear for me. Give them some time. If this is the case and you can tell they're going through something but they're not opening up about it yet, try to trust them and realize just because there are some things they're being quiet about doesn't necessarily mean it's anything that threatens the relationship. And give them some time, perhaps 28 days or about a month, to filter these things and figure out how the heck they would even go about even talking about these things. These things may run so deep that they're not even sure how to talk about it. So let me look at the clarifiers in here, see if I can get another scenario. Or this could be flipped the other way around too. They may perceive you as being a person that makes them extremely happy, but for whatever reasons you're holding some things back. So, okay, these are the clarifiers for the moon that I pulled. So there's the Ace of Swords. There's the High Priestess. And there's the Three of Swords. Yeah, I'm getting that there has been heartbreak or sadness or trauma in the past for them. And this could be you too, but I'm almost feeling like this is them. Stuff that they don't ordinarily talk about, really. They may even have parts of their being that run so deep, and this person is extremely psychic or intuitive or extremely sensitive, and because of their abilities, they easily get overwhelmed. I'm looking at these two right now, by the way. Is the High Priestess and the Moon. The Moon is actually a Pisces card in the Major Arcana, and the High Priestess is ruled by the Moon. Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune, and Neptune rules the seas. The Moon has a great deal to do with the tides and governs the highs and lows of the ocean here on Earth. So this is very deep, emotional, super sensitive, psychic, illuminating energy. And I feel like this person, their inner self runs extremely deep. And so they may be reluctant they may need to get to know you much, much better and feel comfortable with you more before they truly open up about these things. I can tell you just from being an intuitive myself, it's not always something that is easily received by other people. There are a lot of people out there that believe that this stuff isn't real, or if you tell them you're an intuitive or a psychic, there are a lot of people that honor that. Obviously, whoever's watching this honors that. But there are a lot of people that roll their eyes and think that you're nuts or you're crazy, or they just don't understand it. So I can see why this person wouldn't talk about this very easily. But I feel like there are some things that they're going through that run very deep and are kind of painful, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why they're not opening up to you as much as you would like. But I do see that they are going to open up if you are patient and allow them space to be able to go through this process. I feel like this is going to take about 28 days or one moon cycle for them to open up to you. And so just be patient and loving and You know, people like that are that sensitive, they really do need a Taurian type individual in their life to ground them out and feel like they have a safe person to go to that they can count on. And so they will open up the more and more that they feel safe with you and trust you. If you're in a relationship and this isn't a new one, this feels like perhaps your partner has some very deep subconscious things coming up in them at this time that they may not know necessarily how to articulate. And they want to tell you what's going on with them, but they may not even be aware exactly of what is going on with them. It may be confusing emotionally for them. And so once they have some illumination on whatever this past hurt is, or these memories, possible remembering things that are coming back to them about the past, they will open up eventually once they feel ready. So don't jump the gun and fear that perhaps they're holding something from you that threatens the relationship. This is really specific. This is interesting. Okay, in the future, this is lovely. And I'm not going to pick any cards to go with this. You have the star above the Six of Wands. So things will, once whatever this is comes out and you're able to speak with them about this, and keep in mind this can be flipped too. This may be something you're going through that you're not opening up about yet. Perhaps you are not even sure on how you would even articulate things like that. In the future, I see you as having your wishes granted and a resurgence of hope and faith that you can receive exactly what you wish for, or have some kind of success in a breakthrough in the relationship if you're in a relationship that's already existing. It feels like a breakthrough where both of you just feel completely inspired together all of a sudden, if you didn't before. It's a resurgence of deep spiritual connection with your partner. And if this is something that is new for you, or somebody that you are thinking of, or that you have recently met but you're not officially in a full-on relationship with them yet, this looks excellent for the future. Like you guys are meant for each other, or you feel like you're meant for each other, and you're able to lift each other up to a place of beauty and support, where you feel like together you can accomplish anything. And you will have success with this person. If you have been doubting whether or not this is for real, or whether this will continue to happen in the future, I'm happy to say that it will, is what I'm getting in here. And that not only that, this almost feels divinely brought together, like you two were meant to be together and the spirits helped bring you together. So just be patient in the meantime. This is headed to a really nice place. So hopefully that made sense to you or helped in some way. Very interesting. That ran very deep. And on to the next section will be for your career, jobs, or money situation. See you in a moment. Okay. Now we're going to do Taurus rising, sun, and moon signs, career and money situation, or job situation. In Taurus's best, highest good, and also whatever they most need to hear. For August 2018. The puppy's sleeping now. Okay. All right, 6 cards. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I'm going to pick one clarifier, and then I'll show you. Okay. First one on the top is death. I believe you had this in your general reading. There's quite a few. There's 3 major arcanas out of 6. Half of your cards are major arcanas, so this is definitely tying into your general reading. If you haven't watched that, you may want to watch that on my channel. Okay, second one, the Ace of Swords. I believe you had this in the last one too. Third one, Judgment. Let's see if I can have you see that. On the bottom 3, the 5 of Cups. Luckily for you, that's in the past. Presently, on the bottom, you have the Star. Third one on the bottom is the 10 of Pentacles. I pulled a clarifier to go with Judgment, which I'll show you once we get there, but that one is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So in the recent past with career, jobs, or money, you have death over, let's see if I can maneuver it where you can actually see it, over the 5 of Cups. Luckily for you, this is in the past, and this doesn't look that happy. It looks like in the recent past, you have realized that you have outgrown what you're doing, and perhaps there's something about the situation where you feel like there have been losses, disappointments, things that haven't worked out. Are you just realizing that it's not making you happy? You've been realizing that it's not making you happy anymore, and it may be time for that particular job or career or situation to end. Doesn't necessarily mean that your entire career has to end, but something about how you're doing it now or what you're a part of now is slowly falling apart. There may be some emotional losses involved in this. You know more than me how this has been playing out for you. And so presently, this looks very nice. You have the Ace of Swords over the Star. So I definitely am getting a clear message that you have been thinking about new ideas for making money, your career or job situation, where you want to follow a path with it where you feel as though you have a higher purpose or you're doing something meaningful and that your wishes are granted, or you feel like you want to elevate what you do to a higher level. And you've definitely been having wishes, hopes, dreams, inspirations, ideas for possibly a new venture or a new way of doing this. It may even involve communications, possibly with things like writing, speaking, teaching, computers, technology, and also working with possible groups of people. Either working for groups of people or communicating to groups of people, or actually working with groups of people. And it looks like it's information that needs to get out there, or a new way of communicating that is honoring the divine or honoring spirituality. And that being a loose term, I'm not necessarily meaning anything to do with something like religion or any set system. This is just being open to new ways of looking at things that include the things that we don't always see in the material world, the divinity or beauty that lies beneath the three-dimensional world. Things like hope, and you want to bring messages of hope. You want to be hopeful. You want to see your wishes come about in reality. I think I'm going to leave that at that. And in the future, with career, pardon me, I'm just trying to find the best way to show these to you. This is also a Pluto-ruled Major Arcana card, I believe. I can't remember if you got that in your general reading. I know that you got Death there, but both Death and Judgment are cards that are ruled by Pluto or ruled by the archetype of Scorpio. Sorry to go off track. In astrology, there are actually 13 signs, and in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, there's another sign called Ophiuchus, which is a higher, or not higher, what am I trying to think of? It's the next step up in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, which is about the dead rising again, or the things that we thought were completely gone coming back. Ophiuchus was someone who brought a dead snake back to life in the myth, in the Greek myth. So I always see Judgment as not only being a Pluto-ruled card, but also being an Ophiuchian card. My own moon actually is in Ophiuchus. So anyway, I'm feeling that in the past you had emotional disappointments because possibly you had a dream once upon a time, a long time ago, that you felt wasn't possible or had died. And now you're realizing in the future that this hope or this dream that you had that you thought was gone forever is actually coming back. And you definitely in the future are feeling a major calling. You're feeling a major call to do something important, especially for communities, groups of people where everyone has their needs met. I'm actually even getting something very physical, like providing food, shelter, clothing, possibly spiritual help, or even information that they need, to make sure that everybody's needs are being met, not just people who can afford it. I'm possibly even getting something in here about getting grants or charging enough money from the people who can afford it where you can give back to the people who can't afford this help, or working it out where some kind of funding is possible to be able to enable everybody in the community or everybody involved in this where they have their needs met, and to gather people together somehow. Because the Ace of Swords is in the present, and this also has something to do with communications, this may even giving ideas or connections to other people, something like that. This looks really meaningful and amazing. And if it doesn't necessarily have to do with all of that, it definitely feels like you want to do something meaningful for groups of people or people in general, and that it's not about doing things on your own anymore. So with this Judgment card, I pulled a clarifier, which was the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about slow, steady progress, patience, and also receiving help or getting help. So as far as on how to organize this thing or finally follow your purpose, I'm definitely getting that it's entirely possible for you to receive help, and you may even need help with this. You may need other people to get involved in this with you, or just to have the other tasks involved handled by people that have the best ability to be able to handle those particular details. I'm getting something to do with organization or paperwork or legalities or just the meticulous Virgo type aspect of these things, of handling the details. And it's very possible for you to receive help, get help, and possibly even collaborate with people on this. I'm getting that there may even be younger people, people in their late teens or 20s, even up to early 30 people that are very inspired by this and want to be a part of it and want to learn how this process works. So you may even end up having students or apprentices that can learn through this by helping you. So this seems very specific. Hopefully this makes sense to you. And we'll go on to the next section, which will be for your emotional, mental, and physical health. Okay, so I'm shuffling the cards. I wish I could show you what I'm doing, but I just don't have the proper table in here. All I've got right now is my lap and a counter. So hopefully you're okay with that. And this is going to be for Taurus rising, sun, and moon signs, mental, emotional, and physical health for the month of August 2018, in their best, highest good, or whatever they most need to hear. 6 cards. Okay. All right, I pulled one clarifier, so these are the 6. The first one is the Princess of Cups. The second one on the top is the 9 of Pentacles. The third one on the top is the 4 of Cups. On the bottom 3 is the Princess of Wands. The middle one on the bottom is the 2 of Pentacles. The third one on the bottom is Justice. And the clarifier for the 4 of Cups, because I wanted to know a little bit more about it, is the Magician. So overall, I'm not getting that you have any severe health issues. I am possibly getting something about oscillation. I think that came up in your general reading of things rocking back and forth a little bit, but ultimately you may have something possibly going on with kidneys or your second chakra or hip area or sacrum area. But a lot of that is emotional in nature. I am getting something going on in your emotional body. So, okay, so let me just show you. In the recent past with health, it looks like you've really been focusing on trying to be childlike, optimistic, and playful. Perhaps children in your life, if you have any, whether they're grandchildren or your own children or children you work with or just children you know, have been an extremely good, beneficial influence on your health in the recent past. or even just taking it easy and trying to cultivate more play and playfulness in your life in general, of remaining positive and open to future possibilities with your health. Possibly you spent some time near water, or you've been trying out new fun ways of exercising, whether it's dance or yoga or anything really that you enjoy doing that just gets you physical again. So I feel good about this. You've been trying for sure. So presently I'm getting that you're experiencing some oscillation or rocking back and forth with possibly just your body's energy levels in general. Perhaps you're a little bit out of balance physically, where you've been tripping over things, or a little bit more clumsy than usual, or just seesawing a little bit with certain things. I believe I went into that in your general reading. And a lot of this has to do with, okay, you're ready to cultivate what you really want as far as your reality goes, where you want to live, what you want to cultivate, what you want to build or create in your surroundings. And there's something about that you're mulling over, okay, do I want to do it there or do I want to do it here? Where do I go? Where do I do this? How do I do this? And what needs to be juggled around money-wise in order to enable this to happen. There may also be a seesawing of yourself versus others, or how much time and energy do you spend on your own health, and how much time or energy do you spend on other people's health. You may even have some things going on where you're not concerned, but definitely looking at your own children's health in the recent past. You may be not just thinking of your own health, but other people's health as well, and how to balance those two things, or how to best take care of yourself or others. I'm definitely feeling that you already know this, but you need to strike a balance between these two worlds if you're going to be involved with both of them. But I'm not getting anything major in this. So in your future, you have the Four of Cups over Judgment. Or, I'm sorry, Justice. Judgment was in your last reading for relationships. Or, no, your career. Yeah, you're definitely thinking about what is fair. You know, how do you distribute equally your abilities? I'm getting something about, just try to ignore that. I don't feel like leaping over the fence or pausing this. So I'm getting that possibly you've been counseling others, and something about that is emotionally draining you, or you just, something about the way that you've been counseling other people, or trying to figure out the logistics or even legalities of something, has been making you feel like it's not what you're looking for, or it's not feeding you the way that you need it to. And so you may have been feeling a little bit apathetic or bored or discontented with whatever this is. And so I pulled a clarifier to go with that Four of Cups, and you got the Magician. So I'm definitely feeling something like you need to focus on yourself more than you're focusing on other people at this time. There's something about your own needs that may have been put aside so that you could make sure that things were equally balanced between you and the people around you. If you have been doing a lot of counseling others or helping others with legalities, or trying to settle differences or mediation or something like that, you may need to take a break for a little bit and really just focus on yourself at this time, and focus on your own personal independent goals and what you want to be manifesting in your life. If you take this break and walk away from whatever that is temporarily and really focus on yourself, I see your energy levels as getting a lot higher than they are now. And you'll go back to that with a feeling of being refreshed and renewed. So I think that's pretty much it. And hopefully that made sense or helped you in some way. And I'll see you next month. Okay, take care.